Welcome to the series UX Nuggets, where each week we will explore the techniques of UX and give best practice examples of how we use these techniques in real-world UX projects. My name is Ben Sterling, and I run Made with Maturity, a UX design agency. And episode 5 of UX Nuggets is all about discovery sessions. Now, each episode of this series will fit into one of our 3 categories of either user research, design, or user testing. And discovery sessions fits into our user research category. So while every agency is different in how they conduct a discovery session, it's critical that we have a session to understand the project and establish how we're going to work. Now, at Made with Maturity, we have a UX research and insights phase to all of our projects. And the very first step of that phase is a discovery session. Typically 2 hours, maximum 3-hour meeting, where we run a series of discussion questions to the core project group. And we are trying to establish what do we know and what don't we know. This session then fuels the rest of our research stage. We can't have a one-size-fits-all research phase, as often parts of our research phase have already been done by the client, in which case we'll just need to onboard with that research, where other times the research does need to be completed and we need to do it before we move on. So our research phase is flexible. In every one of our discovery sessions, we will cover the following though. The first thing we'll cover is the offering. So what is it that you do? What's the service that you're providing? What's the product you're delivering? And what are you trying to communicate? The second part is your audience. Who are you targeting with your digital product or your website? Are they an educated audience, or do they need educating? What about their demographics, their age, the location, how much experience they've got? And notice I'm speaking of audiences and not customers, as we're not always dealing with customers. Now, often on B2B websites, they're used for other audiences, such as recruitment, with a completely different set of needs as to your customers. So we take the time to identify the different sets of audiences and establish their needs. And we put those audiences and their needs into a hierarchy of importance to the business. The third part is about competitors. Who are your main competitors? What's their offering? How different is their offering to yours? What's their website like? What are their key messages? And we're trying to understand how high the bar needs to be. Because if your competitors are really performing high, obviously we need to do a really high performing website. If your competitors are a lot lower, you maybe don't need to go and invest as high for that. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the fourth part is an existing media audit. This could simply be a website review, but often it's wider to cover all marketing channels. So we have an understanding of where the website or the digital product fits within the wider marketing or digital strategy. An understanding of the good parts and the bad parts are really important, because there are always good parts that should remain in any kind of product or website. It's important for us to understand this before we move on. And then the final part of the discovery session is the project management expectations, such as rough timelines, roles, and project processes. So as you can imagine, each of these 4 sections in a discovery session, we could go deeper and do a deeper dive with research into any of these to get a greater understanding and insight. So I'd be really interested to hear about discovery sessions that you've been involved in, and if you've got any tips on what you've found helpful or not helpful. So that's the end of episode 5, discovery sessions. Next week is episode 6, and it's all about analytics reviews. See you next time.